A favorite of our broadcast, Eddie Robinson is 5'7", 215 pounds, a bundle of energy and enthusiasm. Let's enjoy him right now. And Frank, your comments.
He's a newcomer to the Olympia, Joe. Really, I'm very impressed with this guy. He's very massive. He has a lot of charisma on stage.
We saw him win the USA Championship last year. And since then, earlier in 1990, he was the champion of the Niagara Falls professional tournament. So that was his pro debut.
I don't think he's at his best tonight, though. He looks a little soft in the back, and the thighs look a little smooth, but he does come off very strong on stage nevertheless. Great potential.
And that's really what it's all about in his young career. Just about every event, bodybuilding competition he has entered, he has won. 86 Junior National Champion, 89 USA Champion, and as mentioned, the Niagara Falls Championship.
He reminds me a lot of Tom Platz. Maybe it's because of his massive thigh development.
We remember covering Eddie Robinson, the amateur bodybuilder. Of course, now it's Eddie Robinson, the pro bodybuilder. And just before the competition, we asked him about the difference between the two.
The training for the amateur level competition, I still train hard as I do now. It's just that right now it's under a lot more pressure, which when I'm laying around the house or I'm fishing, I just say, hey, no more of that anymore. It's off to the gym. So most of my spare time anymore is usually hitting that lagging body part or working on some other smaller body parts to bring up, because I know the caliper I'm going against right now isn't like it used to be, and it's time to do the homework, and this is when it's time to pay the piper. And right now I'm putting in my dues. This is my first Olympia, and I'm just honored to be here tonight, and it's fantastic.
Eddie Robinson is a firm believer in dramatics. We just saw him shot on the stage, and he played with it beautifully. Listen to the crowd.
What an innovative routine. He's really great on stage, and he's milking it for all it's worth.
How about it? A standing ovation for Eddie? This is his first Mr. Olympia from the crowd. Next up is Samir Bannout from Santa Monica, California. He's 5'8", 205 pounds. And it was back in 1983 that Samir won the Mr. Olympia competition. In fact, he's really never quit since winning it in 83, and he's not ready to hang it up yet. Here's what he had to say.
Believe it or not, it's still going. It's just the love that I have for the sport. It's incredible, my love for the sport is just keep going, growing and growing and going and growing. And so I feel great, I'm still at least like half of the age of Albert Beckel, so I feel I can do it again, so I'm still hanging in there.
Frank Zane, you have a little history with Samir.
Yes, I competed against him in the early 80s, and he was in great shape, but he looks a little off tonight.
Okay, Samir leaves the... Okay, he will leave, and that'll bring up Ron Love from Detroit, Michigan. They come from all over here. He's 6 foot, 225 pounds. He's been involved in Mr. Olympia since 1986, and folks, most people here believe he's not in the best shape of his life. Prejudging is vital, and Ron Love didn't feel he got a fair shake earlier at prejudging.
I'm not sure. I know this year I haven't been around that much, as far as the magazines go. I'm not sure if that's one of the reasons why the judges give me a good look or how I look compared to the rest of the competitors, But from some of the comments I get, I thought some people thought I should have been compared quite a bit more.
He really does look a little smooth to me.
Lee Labrada. Labrada from Houston, Texas. He's 5'4", but man, he's packed 185 pounds. And Frank Zane, Lee has been knocking on the door of the Mr. Olympia for 3 straight years. He finished 3rd in 1987, 4th in 88, and came oh so close last year, finishing 2nd.
Joe, if anybody has a chance to win this tonight, it's Labrada. With his great posing, and he's been so close several years, he just may do it.
Well, he's got 7 Grand Prix wins under his belt and a host of titles.
And he looks in fine condition. Very muscular. Confident smile.
Can't afford to slip up at this point.
No, he spends a lot of time practicing his posing, too.
won the 1986 Night of Champions. He was the 1985 Amateur World Champion. Lee Labrada comes into this competition ripped and confident. In fact, he talked about that earlier.
Well, I feel that I should win because I epitomize the package that they're looking for now. This is the new era of bodybuilding, and the emphasis is on the lines and the style of the physique rather than just on freaky mass. Mass is a part of bodybuilding, of course, but not to the exception of everything else. And I think that I combined a real good package. I've been working on it really hard. I've brought up a lot of weak points, and I think that I'm presenting a real good package tonight.
I agree with him 100%. Frank Zane, Lee Labrada just put on a great show.
He looks in great shape to me, Joe.
And he will stand. Very nice. Our next competitor, Rich Gaspari. Rich Gaspari is from New Jersey, 5'8", 207 pounds. And he comes in here, as all these men are, with a host of awards behind him. In Mr. Olympia competition 86 through 88, he finished second.
Gaspari has been so close several years, but tonight he just doesn't look as sharp as I've seen him before.
Gaspari, as far back as 1982, was the winner of the Teen America Cup, and from then on, folks, the rest is history. He's just moved up the ladder. It was in 1985 that he cracked the Mr. Olympia nut, finished third. He's always been right in there, Frank.
Yeah, he has a tremendously powerful physique, and the way he poses is just pure power coming alive. Some very nice moves.
His most recent championship was the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. He did win that in 1989.
Yes, Rich is a very popular champion.
Now, you see, you have a critical eye, and I know when he first came out on stage, you felt that he wasn't in the best of shape. But I can tell you that he thinks he's in the best shape of his life. Now, that's not me talking. That's Rich Gaspari talking.
So I trained all year for this contest, and I feel, I look better than I ever did. From all the other years, people say this is the best I've looked. And that's all I can do, I'm going in this show, feel good, posing. I practiced my posing for months, and it's totally different from what the people are used to seeing, and knocking them dead.
Sometimes when you do something different, which we're seeing here from him, it can be perceived as being not as strong. But there is Rich. Very nice. Folks, coming up next, a fellow we've been following the last couple of years. You're going to love him, Eddie Robinson, and the rest of our competition. Stay with us.